After 5 months of war between Hamas and Israel, aid groups say that the conditions in Gaza have grown dire, especially in North Gaza, where they say the delivery of food and other aid is nearly impossible. The Hamas-run health ministry says at least 20 Palestinians, including children, have died from malnutrition or dehydration since the start of the war. Now, a new plan being unveiled. White House officials say constructing a temporary pier in the Mediterranean just off the Gaza coast will allow for ships to deliver more humanitarian aid to the enclave. Although the U.S. military will build the floating pier, officials say no American troops will actually enter Gaza. Meanwhile, the U.S. and Jordanian militaries conducted their third round of airdrops on Thursday, providing some 38,000 meals to people in Gaza.
Frankly, we'll take anything at this point. I mean, these people are desperate.
Catherine Russell from the United Nations Children's Fund says that these efforts are a welcome sign, but cannot fully replace the delivery of aid by land. She says not enough aid trucks are getting in, and the lack of security has made the route to northern Gaza unsafe.
We have an obligation as human beings to take care of the most vulnerable, and those are children, for God's sake.
Meanwhile, speaking on Thursday, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu once again threatened an Israeli offensive in the South Gaza city of Rafah. The southern border city has been the main point of entry for humanitarian aid coming in from Egypt and has swelled in population to around 1.5 million Palestinians, including many who fled violence elsewhere in Gaza. Netanyahu called Rafah the last stronghold of Hamas, saying an offensive will likely be needed to win the war. Meanwhile, hopes are fading for a deal that would see Hamas release Israeli hostages from Gaza in return for Israel agreeing to a ceasefire. The Biden administration had hoped that a deal could be reached by the start of Ramadan on Sunday night. In Washington, I'm Koslof, Spectrum News.